All right, you guys. We got pro sport update. Shout out to Lion Den community. Shout out to represent midlife music forever. Shout out to Brandon Sport TV. Shout out to Big Ticket. Shout out to Cena. Shout out to Kareem. The Report. Shout out to Tuwal for TV. Now, I want to get to this video. Now, what I didn't like at the Olympics that, they drug test some NBA players, excuse me there. I remember they drug test Stephen Curry because he had two big games, the game against Serbia and the game against France. And then they drug test, Anthony Edwards, because Anthony Edwards had a huge game against Puerto Rico, in the tournament. And what sticks out to me the most is LeBron James. He was MVP, of the championship game. And just want to say this to you, fam. We all know LeBron's pushing 40 years old, and we all know that when they had the biogenesis in 2010 and 12, we all know that when LeBron's name came up on the PD scandal, we all know it raised suspicion. And the DEA, did one of the most worst investigation when investigating LeBron James on his PED scandal. Now, the reason why I'm going to say that they did the worst investigation is when LeBron's name came up on PEDs. And when Rich Paul went into the laboratory, there was a woman by the name of Jessica. So if the DEA was to do a thorough investigation on LeBron James and his PED scandal, I feel that they did not investigate Jessica. I mean, they cleared this man of this PED scandal, and a lot of people that makes videos on LeBron James wasn't happy. Because here you got a 39-year-old man that's finna push 40, never been drug tested when he played for USA. You would think that they would have drug test LeBron James. So everybody's seeing things for what it is. And when it comes to LeBron Ramona James, as great of an athlete he is, but a lot of things raise suspicious. I remember Skip Bayless says that, there was Rich Paul picking up the initial LBJ. There was other guys like Jamil Nelson, Helen Turkoglu, Rashard Lewis. You had Joakim Noah, Wilson Chandler. All these athletes was found using PEDs. And, if LeBron was to be tested and he found, using PEDs, what will happen to his career? This will tarnish his career. This will be talked about if they found LeBron dirty on PEDs. Now, the reason why they're not so, worried about testing LeBron James, because when you look at his longevity, when we look at LeBron coming from high school, being the chosen one. See, this is bad for the NBA right now. Because the NBA, if you had a man like LeBron James go down on PEDs, just think how much money the NBA will lose. Now, you got a guy like Adam Silver. We don't have a strong commissioner in the NBA. If it was David Stern wouldn't let that happen. If a couple of guys, tested for PEDs, why a 39-year-old LeBron James wasn't tested? Now, I want to say this because you can get enhancements, drugs from Mexico where they don't have a detest. You can't detest for it, so I'm thinking now that players that do get drug tests, they're going to be clear. But when it comes to LeBron James, he's not going to be tested. They will overlook LeBron and they will, test other, athletes, which I think is a disgrace. And like I said, when you got LeBron James, the face of basketball, when you got Clutch Sports, when we got all these commentaries that speak highly of LeBron, that put him on the GOAT conversation, is such disgrace for basketball. Now, I remember Carmelo Anthony came out on the Dream Pro telling that LeBron should retire. Because the reason for this is it's not looking good. And the more he played, the more you will see there's a suspicion of LeBron using PEDs. Now, the EPO, we all know, if you study the EPO, the testosterone, when you use the EPO, it will have you play a long time. See, the EPO is a testosterone that will flow to the bloodstream, and it gets, players like LeBron James play, 30 minutes a game. So with that being said, when Chael Simon came and said that if anybody knows LeBron, it will be me. So, saying all this, you guys, should LeBron be tested for PEDs? So I want to give a shout out to the Lion Den community, shout out to A Weapons, and shout out to all the YouTubers that's pushing this video on LeBron. I'm out.